The third P, we do TV rental as well. So all those people who are Michael J. Fox Spin City fans, public relations. Right? Never underestimate the impact that public relations could have for you. But you know what? It's bleeding hard work. You know, you have to get out there, you have to develop relationships with journalists, you have to speak to people on a constant basis, and you have to be sure your customer proposition that I talked right at the start is front and center of what you do. And we do, you know, there's a number of things that we do in public relations. There are three audiences that we target. We target business, which is about the investor group and the communities in terms of how the business is going. We target the trade, and we target consumer. And not all people you work with are good at all three. And ensure that you have the right balance between that, how you go forward to ensure that we could make it. We have two agencies that we work with, one on the consumer side and one on the trade and the business side. But you need to evolve that story as you go forward. And you need to ensure, when we started off, the fact that LoveFilm was an online DVD rental service and different was enough to get some news. But actually, as we got more sophisticated and we got older and people knew about our business model, we had to create new news. And trust me, creating new news is not like getting the Sunday Times writing a huge article saying that you're up for sale. That's not new news. But the whole thing is about what is the thing that people are going to be interested in and what is next. And a great example of that is when Jonathan Ross and Russell Brand decided with Andrew Sachs that they actually were going to give him a hard time on the phone. The rest, as I say, is history. We actually looked into our records and actually found out that Fawlty Towers DVD rental increased by about 50 to 60% the week of that happening. And lo and behold, huge coverage for LoveFilm in terms of the PR and press, because we actually found that actually, you know, Saks benefiting from DVD increase, you know, was the headline according to LoveFilm. So there's many different ways, and you have to stay current, you have to stay relevant, and you have to stay on top of that, and, you know, sort of also push the boat out, take some risks, and have some fun as you go forward. The final P I'm going to talk about actually is something that is very dear to my heart, and that is passion. Right? And I thought about, is this people or is that? No, it's not about just normal people. This is about having passionate people. And if I can give you one bit of advice, is the most important thing that you can do when you start off is surround yourself with great people. And actually, if those people are better than you, that is actually even better, right? They can be smarter, they can be faster, they can be fitter, they can do whatever. It doesn't matter. Pick the best possible people you can have. The reason is because First Division people recruit First Division people, whereas actually Second Division people recruit Third Division people because they feel threatened. And just keep that quality threshold all the time. When I, first started off and we were merging LoveFilm and Video Island together and we were creating our new business, I probably spent about 40 to 50% of my time interviewing. And it's a huge commitment, but you know what? It makes my life so much easier now, and I think the business is much stronger as a result of that. The other thing we do, create fun. I, once a month, cook a barbecue for all staff, right? And I get my little pinny on and my hat. No, we do that. We have special screenings. We do other things where we get people involved. And we actually hit 300 people before we hired our first HR manager. And she was fantastic. But the people who manage people should be the managers themselves and should be other people in the organisation, not a function that sits to one side. Finally, the other thing we do on people is we reward people on a quarterly basis, and everybody in the organisation has a quarterly performance-related pay. And we set them goals at the beginning of each quarter, and we measure goals at the end of each quarter, and then we pay out up to 10 to 20% of salary based on how they perform against that. Now, that you could call a management headache. The reality is when you're growing at anything from 100 to 150%, you need to be able to change the goals of people in the organisation quickly. And actually doing an annual review isn't enough for many of you who sort of come from the more formal background. But the most important person in the whole thing is you. And actually, you often get forgotten in the whole process. And it's tough, right? Starting up a business, making it happen. But from a personal point of view, I will actually say working in a business aside and growing a business and a brand is probably the most rewarding and exciting thing you will do. You have all the levers to pull. You have all the opportunity to control all those different elements of the mix. And just hearing people talk about what happens, it's an incredibly exciting thing to do. You'll work harder than you would in any corporation, but you'll get up in the morning a lot earlier and you'll bounce out of your bed. And in the current situation that we are as a country, you know, talking about recession, talking about those other things. The people who are going to drag us out are the people who are sat here, the people who are online, and the people who are starting businesses. That's because that passion, if you follow it through, people will follow you. People want leaders to have that passion and to show them how to improve things and how to make things better. And just, you know, wake up to, you know, every morning and just say, what am I going to do to make this business better? And you'll be successful at it, trust me. I'll leave it there, and then we'll sure we'll have questions. Thank you.